Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. First off, guys, don't forget I will be going live sometime tonight still and doing some card pulls for my subscribers. But this first is going to be our kind of our daily love tarot storyline. But this is specific for how the full moon is impacting that concept of love. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead. By the way, I'm sorry. I know the picture of me in the thumbnail. I have got crazy eyes. I was like, oh wow, but too late to change it now. So we'll just have to roll with crazy eye Kate. Let's get started. So, how is the full moon kind of like illuminating things in regards to love right now? We have got sea spirit. And it's funny because there's more than one sea spirit. Hi guys, Mima Jamila, Stivet, Alex De La Paz. So great to see everyone. Um, there's more than one sea spirit in this particular deck. Um, and this is number two. So, what I'm going to say is, I would argue that this full moon is probably impacting a character in a completely different way. Now, this is our brightest moon of the entire year. Um, and so I'm going to say that probably one of our other super moons had a really profound impact on a love story, but this one's hitting differently. This because it's all about emotions, right? And it could be bringing up a whole different set of emotions and a whole different set of memories. So I'm going to say that there's a lot of nostalgia surrounding this. We have a seagull here for a little birdie. I don't know if someone has recently gone to the sea and they have like cathartically released something, or they sat someplace near water and they sometimes we give our emotions to nature. We surrender it. It's very symbolic to say, I'm going to say this person's name once on the wind and let my wishes for them to carry on in life and have happiness, let that be the final time that I need to think about this. Or I'm going to combine my tears into the ocean's waves just one time and say, this is how I release it. It can also be because the tides bring things in. It can also be realizing that my greatest wish is for something to return. But this is stirring up a different set of emotions than one of the other super moons did. And I think we've had have been four super moons all in a row, just because the Earth, the moon appears much larger because it's closer to Earth at this moment. All of that could be a little bit important here, but let's see what is the message with this. It definitely has a strong spiritual component, emotional component, but I don't know if it's what the tide's bringing in or taking away. Nine of Cups and the Death card. We've been getting some awesome messages all throughout today. I just, on the other channel on Kate's Regretless Life, I had released a bonus message for Virgo, Capricorn, excuse me, Virgo, Leo, and Libra. I did do a full moon message for every single zodiac, by the way, that's already been released, though, as well, including for Cancerian on this channel. So if you missed that, you can still check that out. Obviously, it's going to have this backdrop. That's how you'll know it's a full moon message. But I feel like the biggest message is somebody says, you know what I really want? I want to be happy again. I want to have a good time. I remember being lighthearted. This could be, oh, Amanda Curry. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, honey. I remember going out there and having a really great time. I remember going out there and, like having happiness in my life. This could be somebody who says, I remember being single, footloose, and fancy free. Maybe I'd like to return to that energy. It's definitely the sea. The tides are controlled by the pull of the ocean, or sorry, by the pull of the moon. So I definitely feel like it's time to bring good stuff back in. Hi, everybody. So great to see you. We've got the Four of Coins and we've got the Seven of Swords. I definitely think that a character is saying, particularly as we are ending this year, this is Year of the Dragon, and we have this little dragon sitting on this treasure chest. And we got that Seven of Swords, but I look at the Seven of Swords really differently in this deck because we have this little Arctic fox, and he has to camouflage himself to stay alive. Foxes are oftentimes like, oh, they're sneaky, but this one hits a little differently. This says maybe the reason a character has kind of hidden something away, has hidden themselves away, has tucked themselves away, has been because they needed to get themselves through a really tough thing that they've been through, and they're recognizing, I want to be happy again. I've been hurt long enough, and what I really want to focus on is, in this year of the dragon, I actually want to open up my treasure chest. I don't want to camouflage myself and hide myself anymore. I want to be happy again. I want to be out there. I want to be just like feeling how I used to feel. I want that back. I want my sparkle back. I want my shine. There's some song about that. Something about the shine. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts that I can't think of that song. We have a 10 of swords. This is a character, and it comes across like it's a feminine. It does not have to be. Somebody could step outside in like their nightgown or something and just look up at the moon tonight, whether they matter, but they may step out and take a minute to look up at the moon tonight. And it's like, sometimes, oh gosh, now I'm hearing it's a marvelous night for a moon dance. Can't think of his name, and I love him so much. Somebody help me get the singer's name. I hate it when I go blank like that. Van Morrison. There we go. I think that we have a character who is done. This is the last set of tears I'm going to cry. I'm done holding myself back. I'm done. I think this is very, very, very painful for a character. Whatever I'm going to say she went through, because we have a feminine who's been in like mourning garb for a while. I think she was really emotionally hurt by something. And maybe since the last supermoon, she's been particularly like dismantling some of the emotional boundaries and the hurt and the pain. And she's been bit by bit saying, I've been holding myself back. I've been camouflaging myself. I haven't been dealing with other people. I've been tucking myself away. And damn it, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to get my happy back. I should be out being the person I used to be, a little bit more jovial, a little bit more, playful, a little bit just happier. I want the old me back. I want to change this energy, because this is not who I used to be. I didn't used to have so much hurt in me. She is getting her groove back. She's getting her heart back. She is letting go of a karmic. Okay, so now we have what the situation was. I said, how's a full moon impacting love? It is really addressing kind of the poison, as these are cobras. So the poison of being hypnotized by someone who is not good for us. Maybe we're not good for them either, but we get hypnotized by it. It's really easy to get sucked into stuff that really isn't good for us. Especially the more not good it is, the more sometimes we want it. Like for me, sugar, right? Love me some sugar. And my body does not do well with huge amounts of sugar. I know there's a bunch of stuff that I'll crave it. Oh, I love it, but it's not good for me. And I feel the immediate effects of like, wow, I don't feel so awesome for having eaten that. But that still can be the thing that we crave. It's easy to get hypnotized by the dysfunction. It's easy to get obsessed with things that actually are dangerous for us, as far as like, I'm not saying this person is dangerous per se, but if it's going to bring us down, if it's going to make us hurt, if it's going to make us sad, then it is kind of like, well, that's dangerous for my happiness quota. And I think our character is saying, I spent a long time, a really long time, recognizing that it's almost like this person had to detox herself from the, I'll say, obsession. I think if we were going to be really straightforward about this story, what is happening on this full moon is we're seeing the culmination of, I think our character has been working on letting go of this, really genuinely getting over an addiction since maybe last month. And she's there. And this isn't lip service. She's really broken the, whatever the addiction is, whatever that karmic cycle is, that, it was so tempting to stay in that cycle of, but I want it, but I want it, but I want it. I'm going to let it go, but I still need it again. I need another hit of that. I need to still focus on the hurt and the pain that I went through with that person. I can't stop thinking about them yet. I say I'm going to, and then I go right back into, that hurt that they caused me, that passion, that desire, the reliving of painful memory. I think she's done reliving any of that. She's riding that bike onward. This has been maybe some slow progress, but you know what I think her biggest breakthrough is? Him, her, it doesn't matter. She shows up. Sorry, I became Sean Connery there for a second. She shows up as a masculine at this point, which is like masculine energy is the energy of the sun, it's the projection energy, it's the taking action, versus the energy of the moon, which is what she has been in. She's been pulling information toward her. She's been pulling healing toward her. She's been gathering. It's almost like, before we're going to give birth, we got to first make the baby, right? So she's been gathering information, and now she's able to give birth to this energy baby, which is basically her new self moving forward, her new self moving into the next chapter of life. This is so powerful, and it's so beautiful, and it's not even to vilify. She's owning her own ish in this, right? I was karmic. There's two cobras here. I was trapped in a little snaky stranglehold with them. I was just as toxic as them. I know it, and I can own that. But you know what? It's causing me nothing but grief, the same way eating too much sugar does. So I'm getting motivated. And you know what clicks? Why do we get motivated to make a change? I'll tell you, when I'm ready to stop eating sugar, when I've been, pigging out over the holidays and stuff, it's usually because discomfort, I don't feel good. So now I want to make a change, And sometimes just like, oh man, I feel so guilty. I didn't treat my body nice. Now I want to treat it nice. But discomfort is a great motivator. This would be an uncomfortable energy, but she had to first gather her thoughts around this, recognize what she's been doing. Because I think this whole experience of being trapped on a loop of the same dialogue in her head about this same karmic person, I think it was making her withdraw from other situations, other people. It was making her hide herself away a little bit. It was also making her hide how beautiful and shiny she is. That, we're a little dragon hiding our treasure, but that's the best part of us. The part that makes us unique and makes us a loving individual who would be a joy to be around. I kind of think she might have been tucking herself away, goes out and functions in life as much as she needs to with other people, but then maybe not really opening up to anybody. Maybe even withdrawing a little bit to think about the karmic instead of going out with friends, or instead of dating new people, or even when she's dating somebody new, still thinking about the karmic. That is finally, that fever has broken, and she's getting back to who she used to be. Kins, thank you so much. You guys are so incredibly generous. Thank you, honey. And you gifted a membership as well. You sweetheart. You are so incredibly kind. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you a million times over. Maima Jamila, welcome. You are a member. Just so you know, on Mondays is Members Day, okay? So there's some stuff we do on Mondays. Okay, back into our story here. Sorry, I just don't want to miss a chance to say thank you guys so much. That is so generous. This storyline has taken on a huge catharsis, and this full moon seems to be bringing about massive change, which is kind of we're seeing a common thread in different for each video I've done, but I will say letting go of attachments that were not making a character happy, that is a common theme that I'm seeing. And we morph right into, it's the, I'm hearing that song, This is the Season of the Witch, only it's the season of the Emperor. Because I'm also hearing the boys are back in town. I feel like once upon a time, I think that this feminine, and we'll just say that even though it could be a masculine, but once upon a time, this feminine used to only date really high caliber people. Once upon a time, they used to only be attracted to people that were really something. And she had a good eye for who's awesome and respectable. And that's kind of what she knew she was looking for in life. Maybe she hadn't found the perfect person yet, but she knew oh, I love that, those traits, those qualities. I know just what I'm looking for, and I wouldn't settle for anything less. But sometimes when we get hooked into the karmic energy, and keep in mind, it's that karmic vibe can be kind of insidious. We might have thought we were dealing with an emperor, an empress, not realizing we actually got ourselves roped into again, kind of well, how does any addiction start, right? It's pretty insidious. It seems good at first, and then we want more of it before we realize it. We're doing something that isn't great for us, and then it's really hard to disengage, even once we realize it. But it also takes a while to realize it. I'm thinking that she got roped into somebody that she never would have picked, wouldn't have dated. That she would have, had she not maybe fallen for this karmic first. And maybe that's it. Maybe she fell for a karmic before asking herself, hey, do they have all those traits that I've always been looking for? Maybe she thought they had those traits, and then even when it was revealed that they didn't, it was like, it's too late. My tenter hooks are latched in, or their tenter hooks are latched into me, kind of like fangs of a viper. But the thing is, it must have reflected something negative in her as well. Anytime there's a karmic cycle, it's a great time to say, yeah, but I'm going to learn something out of this. So there's no reason to be mad at oneself, or, vilify them or oneself, because it's like, hey, it showed me something that I need to work on in me so that I don't go down that road. And this is it. She needed to remember that I want things that are really happy. I want to have really amazing people in my life. I want to be a really amazing person. This could have brought up some less desirable traits in herself. She might look back at her own behavior and be cringy, like, I can't believe, I wrote nasty text messages to someone. I don't want to treat my mate like that. Why the heck did I engage with somebody in that way? That's so not even who I am. Sometimes when we're with our karmic, we find ourselves doing crazy ass shit that is like, that is not who I would normally be. How did that come out of me? It's toddler behavior, it's temper tantrums, it's just behaving stupidly, because it's showing like it touches nerves, and it makes us feel desperate, and it makes us feel all kinds of ways. And I think this was really kind of good for her to be able to evaluate her own behavior, and that could have been part of what she was withdrawing herself for. Also, sometimes as we get ashamed of ourselves when we've been dealing with a karmic and we've kind of behaved in not such a great way, and it's like, God, that's not even who I am. How the hell did I find myself drunk dialing at 2 a.m, mean messages? And that's just, I don't behave that way. I'm a grown up, and I'm pretty dignified, so how did I end up doing that? Well, she doesn't have to guilt herself or shame herself, him, her, whoever this is, because it is the lesson. It stirred up stuff. Maybe it showed a shadow side. Maybe it showed like, wow, I didn't have a very good boundary in my own reaction, my reactionary behavior. Let me go ahead and address that. But she might have been withdrawing because she was mad at herself too. This song came up earlier also, and I'm going to say it again because of the line in it. It's so great. Omar Apollo. It's called Evergreen, but in it he says, you really made me hate myself. I should have broken it off to date myself. You didn't deserve me at all. The only thing with this, and I think this is a really important message, this is not to only vilify them. That line that, you really made me hate myself. I kind of think this is why she hid away. She was trying to like purify, trying to say, I don't want to act like that. I don't want to be trapped with a karmic, and I don't want what it brings up in me. I think that that's another big component of like really healing, is like forgiving ourselves for saying, God, I'm so foolish. How did I do that? And why did it bring out the worst in me? But she's back on track. She's reverted back to the best version of herself, but a more knowledgeable version, a version that says, I want to treat my partner freaking amazing. I want to be in a divine connection where we lift each other, we rise together. I support my mate supports me. We treat each other like emperors and empresses. That's the kind of connection I'll have, nothing less. This is amazing. Sometimes we don't really get to the point of being our best self until we've looked in the mirror at, look, to become emperors and empresses, you got to go through the whole series, right? You got to be the pages, you got to be the knights, you got to be the kings and queens. And at no point does it say it's always this upward trajectory. We can be a page to a knight to a king, and then flip flop right back down to a temper tantrum page, right? The children of the deck. And I just think that it's such a great acknowledgement that this has been a huge learning process. But during this full moon, this is the ultimate, I have learned a lesson about my own karmic and my own karmic behavior, and I have forgiven myself, and I've reverted into the best version of me. And guess what? I am now completely in that mindset that I know what it feels like to be an emperor and empress, and I know how to treat an emperor and an empress, and that's the kind of life I'm going to have. And I got real life experience to now understand what it means to not be with an emperor and empress. That Five of Wands is here. This card I actually really like. A Five of Wands can be like practice and practice fighting, but we do have this vibe of, you know, in a wolf pack, the alpha male and female, they mate for life. So there is a sense of loyalty, but there's also like, I'm looking for my wolf pack now. I'm looking for my pride. I'm looking for my mate. It's a pretty awesome storyline on this one. She, he, whomever this is so genuinely ready. And my baby needs me, you guys. So good to see everybody. Don't forget, I will be going live tonight and doing some card pulls for subscribers. That'll happen later on in a couple more hours from now. So just FYI, I just want to give you guys a bit of a heads up, but the baby does call. So I'm going to bounce out. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to everybody. Lots of love, you guys. Take care for now. Bye.